Who's ready for some Men of War 2 casts? Yeah, you are, you hungry dogs. Hello, my name's Anuki. Welcome to Ironcast. This is the great Men of War 2. There's firefights, explosions, war machines, action, love, hope, rejection, despair, and finally the sweet release we call mercy. Our pros are back at least. Let's introduce them, shall we? Yes, we shall. Let's be quick about it. Team Red is Solotella as the motorized rifle, Bubba, medium tank, Morgan Black, medium tank as well, Quadrop, self-propelled artillery, and Ahan as the German infantry. Team Blue consists of Marmaza as the anti-tank artillery, Osinovich as medium tank, I Won the Internet, Soviet infantry, ILAP medium tank as well, Black Nyasha as Soviet infantry. So I think we've only got two changes there. I Won the Internet swapped to Soviet infantry, so we have two infantry for Team Blue, and Marmaza changed to the anti-tank artillery. Now, I've played the Soviet anti-tank artillery quite a bit with my infantry buddy. I actually referred to it in the last match. It has a lot of great anti-tank weapons, but I wonder if Marmaza is going to be using those elements specifically. The battle, of course, has already started, and we are getting fast and furious. Little Stuart driving off the tiniest of cliffs, heading to the tiniest lake where it will be hit by the tiniest of AT guns. We're starting off small. This time, both teams have a much higher spread across the map. In the previous match, I don't want to spoil it, but the start was a pinpoint surgical strike along the edge for both teams, quickly capturing but also conceding territory as both teams just passed each other. There's that medium tank start. Somewhere there might be rocket planes. Over here. Right on the bunker. It's a direct hit on both targets. Incredible. So both teams still opting for the double medium tank regiments. I don't think we'll see a shift away from that. Having a medium tank in Echelon 1 looks powerful, feels powerful, but maybe that's why Marmaza has the anti-tank artillery. It could be a good choice. It's going to be hard to see that, though. It's hard to pick out everything that happens in a 5v5 battle. So my best promise is that we'll do our best to see the heart of the action and as many explosions and airstrikes as we possibly can fit into a cast. This is the east side of the map where locals get to enjoy the medium Sherman tanks sparring against each other. The open fields don't leave much protection for infantry to thrive. We got a medic out already as well, and a single sandbag down. In the previous match, there wasn't any engineering work, no sandbags, no trenches. Blue team losing their medium tank and the crew to the explosion afterwards. Oh my god, they're losing everything on this side. Admittedly, not much to lose, but anyway, my point is that this map has a lot more room for engineering to work. There's plenty of places to dig trenches and put up sandbags. Never really see anti-tank traps or barbed wire, but that would be delightful to see. Anyway, blue team is holding this section of wall. The AI defenders getting crushed swiftly. Now danger appears on the flank from this Stuart, and I can't see it keeping this kind of momentum for too long. Surely something will stop it. Might even get to crush some more infantry. Oh, there it is! The anti-tank gun from Marmaza. It's a divisional gun F-22. I honestly can't say I've heard of that one. I'm familiar with the ZIS-2 and 3 and the big BS-3. That's the cool one. There's a super light one, something like the M37, M35. I can't remember which one it is. But you don't see super light AT guns all that much. They are featured in Assault Squad 2. I'm sure they're featured here as well. There are definitely many, many more units in Men of War 2. The armor is getting caved in from all sides, from all angles, in all places, in all different manners. AT grenade there on the back. Sometimes I truly do wonder if the lifespan of a tank is greater than that of an infantry soldier. Red team's got an AA gun out here. Looks like he's already been focused. Oh my god, it's just, it's like I'm watching Micro Machines here. There's that beautiful physics that we adore in Men of War. Some of the crew able to survive, though perhaps they will have wished that they did not. Blue team Stuart continues on their reckless charge where they will be taken out by another Stuart. Some kind of weird food cannibalistic chain where the animals just eat only their own kind. Now, of course, we are seeing a lot of US tanks because of the 4 US medium tank regiments. No idea why a fuel truck was brought into this fight, but it explodes and we are grateful. Just want to mention that not all the battalions were available at this time. There's still a load more, and I mean many, many more, which just weren't featured. Get out of my way! So there's bound to be I don't know, maybe some similar medium tank regiments for the Soviets and the Germans, perhaps. We don't know. There was a whole bunch of things on there for display, but I didn't take notes. But there is a lot. And then at some point, we're going to get the British in, I assume first, and then the Japanese. Oh my god. Ooh, rocket just whiffs right past the Stuart. Proper Stuart Wars. I want an orc to pop out of the hatch and just scream, "There can only be one!" And I also need a fucking explosion counter or something. This is just way too much carnage. Here we go. Some infantry action just to the left. Blue team's purple player running up close to where the assault arrows are, but they are being forced back. Now, those arrows indicate an assault objective. By successfully pushing to a flag that has appeared just outside of their border, they will score 100 points. You don't even have to hold the flag, you just have to get there. It's very much more like a race than a marathon. This will happen twice per match for both teams. Got a medium tank charging in with infantry. They've just got to get to that point. They're so close. And explosion, of course. Why not? Infantry taking cover. I don't think they're going to get to that flag point unless they can knock out some of this armor. If you take a look at the map, blue team is concentrating heavily on this area. Seems that red team's armor commanders, which are Osinovich and Ilap, they have the superiority in this region. I think something of theirs might have just exploded from aircraft, though. Blue team's borders are getting pushed back. Flipping the view so we can see the red team and what they've got on their side. Again, a lot of concentration on this side of the map. Oops, switching over to the AI there that has way too many units. Again, I think there will be improvements to the spectate system. We've got bombs away. But the Sherman tank is bon voyage. They're not even there. Plane returns. Well, one of the planes didn't return, though. It's crashed wreckage on the field. These tanks getting really close to each other in these engagements. I'm used to the Assault Squad 2 engage ranges, which are about 100, 150 meters around that kind of area. And whilst this is unusual, sorry, I'm giggling at that explosion, we got the Hummel back here that is nicely decorated in the bushes. But it's kind of, I want to say, nice to see that tanks are being expended like this. The tanks do get into the nitty-gritty, gruesome front line and try and take out infantry and key positions and put themselves in that danger. But in Assault Squad 2, the correct way to play is very reservist. And I think a large part of that is just down to how many tanks you can field and what types of tanks you can field and the system of the 3 echelons. If you could just sit there and bank and save up manpower to bring out a bigger tank, you kind of typically want to do that and then not risk getting that tank destroyed like many of these tanks are getting destroyed. However, because there's a timing component, it's like, okay, look, we're in phase 1 now. You want to use as much of your phase 1 types of tanks when they're at their strongest and get something just during that time until Echelon 2 arrives and the bigger tanks come out. But at the same time, you want to still be somewhat reservist with those units, because once Echelon 3 is done and a lot of the big tanks are out of the way, suddenly those tanks that you kept alive earlier on, they're just like the only remaining powerhouse tools left in your arsenal, and that might be same for the enemy as well. They might no longer have access to those big tanks. Anyway, I've rambled on for way too long. I think, you know, I'm rambling on because a lot of people have talked about the economy in this game. Ooh, there's an ambush laying behind the rocks. Not a very good ambush. We need some more trading for these soldiers. That's more like it. Oh, brilliant and cinematic. I forgot what I was saying now. It's so often the case in Assault Squad. This is an Assault Squad. Men of War, in general. Every time you start talking about something, but you talk for too long, and then someone shit blows up, and you forget all about it. Because you're just living in the moment. Over on the right. Every time I pan to a new place on the map, someone's getting their Sherman blown up. Now, strategically speaking, we have a large push for Red Team on the eastern side of the map. There is now a counteroffensive there. Infantry are about to collide. We have a sniper out here as well. The sniper did make its rather fantastic appearance in the previous match, surviving even Calliope shots. Let's see how much damage they can do here. Again, we have these trucks rolling into battle. Thankfully, no friendly fire on running your own soldiers over, so it seems. Getting grenades into the already wrecked out building. It's literally just got one corner left and a nice big settler flag on it. Ah, they ruined the settlers, didn't they? Yes, they did. Everyone agrees with me on that one. Is blue team low on stuff in general? The map does not look very littered with their units. We've got some medics pulling weight. Just a few tanks out. Although the same could similarly be said for Red Team. As Mama's over the 52K anti-aircraft gun. They're the anti-tank artillery regiment. Ooh, a little bit of damage there. The bomber plane is destroyed, disassembled in the sky, so it seems. Can't see its body. Now, to talk more about that anti-tank artillery regiment that Marmaza is playing, because I played it a little bit, or maybe quite a bit. Not sure really how to quantify how much I played it, but I played it with a very cool commander called Laubox. And when we were working together, it was extremely effective at being quite defensive. Obviously, anti-tank guns are not very mobile, even if you stick a vehicle on them, and if you move them up, then they just get into really risky positions. So no, you just want to try and selectively choose, that'd be the same thing. You want to choose where you want to put those anti-tank guns, or rather, where you want to defend. Pick your defensive lines, hold that ground, bring out an anti-aircraft gun, and you can really single-handedly just blow out all of the aircraft in the sky whilst providing anti-tank support. And I can't really say if it's working great for Marmaza, but the score does say at the moment that it's fairly even between the both teams. We are 1,400 score points each. Going up and down a little bit. And the front lines have almost returned back to the original state. Very even teams here. Both, I think, with a similar mindset as well. An aggressive offense is a good enough defense. Now, I'm not an arrogant tosspot. Is this tank crewman really going to survive and take out? Nope. Loses his helmet. Rookie mistake. Anyway, so I'm going to tell you now that even though I have many hours in Men of War games, don't take what I say as gospel. It's just going to be my opinion for now. I cannot tell you how our commanders here playing today, if it's the most optimal. And I hope that they are respectful of me just thinking out loud for sheer entertainment purposes here. But I think if I were to have some criticisms to voice, I think all of these commanders are great at assaulting, but no one has really specialized or practiced in defending as a team. But that's such a noob thing to say almost. And when I say defending, I don't mean like in the random auto match pickup group games that we experience with just, 4 random teammates, basically just grabbing engineers and building fancy trench networks. Because everyone and their grandmother does that. Especially the grandmothers. They're old as hell and they know how to swing a spade. I only know that, based on my own grandmother though, and she went on that massive killing spree with a spade. But back to the point, in a 5v5, there's a lot of room for teamwork tactics, and I think many teams will focus on taking territory more so than holding it, because it's the more impressive thing to do. It's harder to take territory than it is to hold it. So what do you practice? You practice on the ultimate way to take it. And that's with these like massive blitzkrieg assaults that has caused a lot of vehicular casualties. We've got 13, 10, 6, 6, 7 vehicles destroyed. That number added all up, 23, 30, 40, almost 40 tanks for blue team. And about 30 for team red. So, yeah, that's a lot of vehicle deaths in 20 minutes. Here comes red team infantry pushing the boundaries, and they're gonna push those front lines even in death, quite literally blasted over the front lines by enemy artillery. Possibly a tactic still being used currently by the Russian forces. More tank devastation, double rockets to the side of that Sherman. Whew. Now, I was trying to remember what the hell I was saying before. I think I'm hoping that when the game is released, but the game will release soon, that we'll see evolutions in the meta. Now, I've watched Age of Empires 4 grow and Company of Heroes 3 grow most recently, and the arrogance on display is incredible. But I think everyone wants to be the guy. Hello, Panzerwerfer. It's worth seeing you here. You see top players saying, blah, 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 this is how it's going to be. Only for them to be wrong, but no one brings them up on it. It's just kind of forgotten. They shout into the wind and the wind carries it away. It doesn't end up mattering what they say. They could say anything. In Men of War 2, when it's released at least, maybe we'll see commanders come up with creative combos, and that in itself will be the basis on shaping their strategical approach. So, for example, I think there's some good synergy to be had between AT guns and infantry. I kind of want to pose the question, what if you didn't try to tackle everything with tanks? How might one go about that? We've seen all this rocket infantry out, and they've done fairly well, especially against infantry tanks that are advancing rather lonesomely. And we've got all these tank corpses around here with their turrets popped off. In case you didn't notice, we're in Echelon 3 now. The heavy hitters are out. Jagdpanther on the field, putting up the Christmas decorations early. I seriously hope we do not get skins like tinsel camouflage. Though maybe as a holiday event, that would be fine. Bubba here, of the US 5th Medium Tank Regiment. Oh look, another Sherman! It's doing well. What the hell's this over in the middle though? Some kind of get-together? A protest maybe? Say no to peace! Ooh, and a flamethrower is just behind the whole squad. It could torch them all. Link the fire. Ah, Gwyn, Lord of the Flame, is down. You died. but so is the whole infantry squad, and they're dying in lots of different ways. But my favorite is gonna be the rocket to the toes, and also the rocket to the tank. Why not tell me your favorite ways of that squad dying in the comments? Look at this engagement range. All the way through the heavy fog. Now, I can't tell you whose smoke that was. I don't know if it was like smoke from artillery or it's smoke that... Ooh, the blue team decided to put down to try and help the Jagd Panther. It did look like it was specifically put down on the side, which will make incoming fire extremely inaccurate. A lot of vehicles on this left side, not really doing anything at the moment. Aircraft keeps on flying over. I think most of it has been shot down by now. It'd be really cool to have maybe like a how many units are left counter. So rather than just a straight up kill counter on the top left and right, how many infantry soldiers each side has, how many tanks they have in reserves, and most crucially, how many planes they still have back on the airfield. Red team getting ahead now. Pushing onto blue team's side of the map in a couple of areas. In the middle and along the east side. Only trailing by 250 points though. Definitely possible to come back from that. Oh my god, I just had a really cool idea. Imagine if there was a cinematic camera for like the airstrikes and you could see the rockets or moments like this. Oh, this is not looking good for that infantry squad, although none of the soldiers were lucky enough to have that building take enough rockets for them to survive. For a moment there, I thought one of them may have gotten away with their lives, for a little bit longer at least, before something else blew them up. In Company of Heroes 1, you had like the director cam. Oh, hello, plane. Oh, it dropped its payload before it decided to split apart. That was kind of it. I think this match and the previous match are both good examples of trying to explore a little bit. Particularly with scout-type units, because if you can locate sources of anti-air, you can either play around the area that they are denying, or potentially take it out with something safe, which we all know means artillery. The undefeatable thing in this game almost at the moment. You can see another plane has gone down. The area of operation is just too small for these planes to thrive on both sides. Got a sniper out on the field. I don't know if it was the same sniper from before, but it's nice to see snipers around doing things sometimes. Huge spread of infantry again along the center line. I'm wondering what the decision-making process is there. Maybe they're saying, okay, look, 10 minutes left on the clock. I think we've destroyed a lot of armor. Let's try really gathering up the infantry now and seeing what we can push. Maybe Red Team has lost a lot of their armor. Well, it does seem that there are still a few elements around on the map to deal with. Planes flying overhead again. Couldn't quite catch the target there. Vehicle up ahead for this squad. Perfect rocket. Zooks the ultralight vehicle. Whatever the hell it was, it doesn't even matter anymore. It's nothing. But this is looking like a successful push. Another light vehicle. It's a shoe card. Just managed to dodge a rocket there. And then randomly explodes. Calliope firing on this location. Hug the cliff if you want to live. 3 of the soldiers make it out alive. Something trying to fire on that Calliope. It's whatever the hell this is. It's a Panzer IV-G. Just with its side facing the enemy. Why not? That's why. There's a Calliope all the way back here that I think was trying to go back into reserves. I'm not sure if it was able to, if it was kind of bugged out ever so slightly. Nonetheless, I think this is a heavy infantry squad. Easily clear out the way of the rocket attack, which I think was just kind of a shot in the dark. This is starting to have the precursor of a successful assault on the eastern flank, whilst they just had some nice success on the west as well, bringing the score back up. There is still all to play for, but only under 8 minutes to play for it. What are we doing here? I thought we were attacking ships then. Ships aren't in this game yet. And I don't think they ever will be. I don't want to mislead anyone on that. Oh, the Jagdpanther was able to hit from here. Long reload time, though. I think it needs another shot to fully kill it. I think there's a bombing plane that's about to deliver its payload over there, if we can get to it. But easily dodged. Oh, in fact, it was just a load of little mini-bombs. It was very cute, but it definitely wasn't going to hurt that tank. I think the blue Calliope was hoping to get this Sherman. It's just fine, though. Looks like it's got an itchy trigger finger, just going back and forth behind that building. We lose an 8-rat there, I think it was. God, with all this just infantry running and gunning, it makes me think I'm looking at a top-down Call of Duty. Ooh, another large concentration of infantry. Now this is Echelon. They're trying to clear out some of these foxholes with grenades. I think Hun may just be my favorite player here. Their infantry has shown much bravado in the face of death, although at the moment they just want to run away from that light vehicle. Over on the left, the earth rumbles. Oh, hello, pilot. I think I just saw the pilot waving. Those air boys and girls are show-offs. Do you know your history? Yeah, there was Wasp, the Night Witches, the Spitfire girls who did not spit fire. That was just amazingly good British propaganda at its best. Female pilots were badass, because not only did they have to fly planes in war, which I assume is terrifying, they had to deal with all the other shit people thought about women being pilots in the 40s. Now that's my gender equality speech. I'm not aware of any divisions of gay pilots in World War II that were assembled, so I'm very sorry for the Pride community. I've got nothing of historical value for you when it comes to pilots. But please do know you're absolutely lovely. You don't need to be pilots, although it would help. Anyway, what the hell? Let's get back to the game, shall we? As red team pushes in the west, we'll take a look at the east. There's cars just driving around. For what purpose, though? There is an AT gun around here. Maybe they're going to try and evacuate it. No, they're getting out. Maybe they're going to try and protect the AT gun. Of course, all these cars do come with drivers, and that's infantry that can hold a gun, so why not put them to combat? Oh, damn! That soldier may not have got the opportunity to serve a full day's worth of soldiering. As they lay down in the dirt, they could at least say to themselves, it was a good flip. I feel like I'm just breathing in the ambient sounds of destruction now. Let's see what Morgan Black Sherman can see. There's quite a few vehicles on that horizon line, but it is looking to the left at something. The commander gets inside their hatch. I think they're okay, but it is possible that they were killed. They just went inside the tank. We're on the final 4 minutes. So both teams probably just looking to try and nab whatever territory they can grab. And that seems to be favoring blue team more. Their score almost up to 2,000 now. Still just a few tanks to take. Smoke is being deployed on the field. Calliope trying to get a side shot. 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 hit, 4. Definitely more there. But no destruction. The Sherman is actually okay. It's not okay. Oh, I've literally just noticed as I swap sides in Spectate, the score flips around as well. So that's a little confusing. But again, I think what this Spectate replay system truly needs is just the fog of war off, so then we don't have to flick between perspectives. So, very sorry if I've actually got the scores mixed up. Can't go back and change it now, sadly. Just like many of these Shermans cannot be resurrected from the dead. Just for clarity's sake, though, and I hope I'm getting this one right, it is blue team which is winning, which is on the north side. So north team, team north, team with I Won the Internet. Team A. Team B, which just lost the Sherman Calliope, are behind. That's Team Red. Team B, the team with my favorite player, Echelon, on it, with the exploding fuel truck. I think there was a crazy ambitious plan to launch some of the fuel of the Sherman tank in the hopes it might take it out. It didn't work, but the Sherman is at least damaged. Plane shot out of the sky, landing perfectly in our frame. 2 minutes left on the clock. It just feels like a mad shopping dash to try and grab as much land as possible. North team has a lot of infantry which are going towards a Hummel, and the Hummel does not look too happy, pointing its giant barrel at these infantry running at it with AT grenades in hand. There goes one. Direct hit. Explodamundo. Did not take much at all. Flimsy bit of metal. That's quite a chunk of territory to recapture. Can't do it with a tank, though. Need infantry to get into that sector and reclaim it. And maybe all we've got is just this machine gun and some crew and a driver from the Jeep, maybe? Another aircraft going down. Here's a big BS-3 gun. I mean, this is just wacky. There's a tiny AT gun firing at one of the biggest AT guns in the game. It's just unusual. I would not see that happen. BS-3 was firing to the side. Oh. Lucky infantry soldier. The shoe car stopped just before they were ran over. My god, look at how slow this infantry moves through the water. Now, infantry can swim in the game if the water is deep enough. Splash goes the trooper. Here we go, bombs down and direct hit. Didn't even attempt to move out of the way. Maybe the tracks were damaged. Maybe the driver wasn't paying attention. Either way, we no longer care because there's action elsewhere. So quick to forget things that have just happened. Another big push by Team North. They've got a 500-point lead, which means they are victorious. Congratulations to Marmiza, Asinovich, List, I Won the Internet, ILAP, and Black Nyasha. Now, I'm just going to waffle on a bit whilst we watch the highlights. This part makes me feel like a DJ coming at you with the latest hits. Ooh, where were you when this happened? Yeah, bye-bye, Stuart. And of course, how could we forget this moment? So anyway, if you're interested in Men of War 2, come on down to discord.me/Ironcast. The link is in the description, because I'd really like to do some special campaigns, is what I'll say, with this game. I like the idea of having a war map, like a persistent battle war that you could join up. Anyone could be a participant of. And each region of the map is assigned a map and like a mission in-game. And we have all the factions fighting over the territories, and we'll have some interesting rules as well. Another thing I'd like to do, just a basic thing, I'd like to get some games together for assault zones. That should be easy enough. Also, I think I like the idea of doing something with assault zones that's a bit different. So, for example, like having an infantry-only battle would work not so well in this game mode because the AI have defenses. Or there's AI defenses. But in assault zones, since that doesn't exist, maybe we could do something interesting there. Lastly, big shout out to my lovely wife. She's disabled and trying to come up with a career path that works for her, so she's starting to get into modeling and model painting. You might see some of her creations. I've just realized I said modeling. Yeah, so she's still honing her craft, but wants to put together tanks. I think she's now working on a tiger tank. Tiga, yeah, nice. So maybe getting a cool 3D painted model will be something that you could decorate your house with, or any space around, desk, where your computer is, and that'll help support her and this channel. I think that's kind of everything, and also most of the highlights. So may the skies be peaceful for you, peace to Ukraine, and make sure you take good care of yourself as well. I hope this game took your mind off things for a little while. My name's Anuki, and I'll see you soon. Of course, there's still another match between these commanders coming right up. And then hopefully after that, even more games of Men of War 2. But it needs to release first. Oh, this is the plane bit. Yeah, there we go. All right, then. This is the final goodbye.